ResultsPlus is designed to give your fundraising team the best tools available while protecting your all-important and confidential constituent data. ResultsPlus does this by letting you decide who needs access to which types of information at both the group level and the individual level. Here's how it works. You define work groups that represent groups of people who perform the same kind of activities in your organization. For example, you might have a volunteer work group composed of volunteers who enter names and addresses, or a gift processing work group for the person who enters incoming donations. As you define each work group, you decide what kind of information members of that work group should see or not see. You can also customize the information ResultsPlus displays for that work group in the executive summary. You can create as many work groups as you need to ensure that everyone in your organization can access the information they need to do their job. Then, you create a user account or login for each individual person who will be using your ResultsPlus system. As you define each user, you assign them to a work group. Their work group assignment will determine which areas of the product they can see and change. You can also give individual users extended rights beyond those of the work group to which they belong. To summarize, security is controlled by defining work groups and giving members of the work group access to different areas of the product, then granting access to individual users who will inherit the rights of the work group. You can also grant individual users certain extended rights. In order to set up work groups and users, you need access to the Administration tab. Access to the Administration tab is the most important extended right that is granted on the individual user level. Also, if you're using a SQL database, you must have database authority to perform certain database functions, which include setting up work groups and users. To create a work group, open the Administration tab, then click the Work Groups button. On the Work Groups screen, you'll see a list of existing work groups on the left. To create a new work group, click the Add button. Then enter the name of the work group in the Name of Work Group field. You can now assign security levels to the work group. For each area in the security level list, you can choose Edit Rights, Read-Only Rights, or Hidden. By default, a new work group is given edit access to all areas of ResultsPlus, except custom tables. So you may want to change some of the areas for a given work group to Read-Only or Hidden. You can find a complete list of all the areas with descriptions in the online help system. Just search for Security Areas. We'll review a few of the key areas here. When you give a work group read-only or edit access to the Address area, members of the work group can see and work with fields on the Names and Addresses tab. The CC Entry area gives workgroup members the ability to enter and see credit card numbers when they enter gifts. Note that once a credit card is verified, the card number is no longer visible anywhere in ResultsPlus. The Configuration area provides access to the Maintenance tab. The Dictionary area gives workgroup members the right to add and edit performance codes and drop-down list values. Custom tables appear at the end of the list. Unlike other areas, access to custom tables defaults to Hidden. Now let's talk about security on the individual user level. To add individual users, open the Administration tab, then click the Users button. On the User screen, you'll see a list of existing users or user logins on the left. We'll add a new user, a volunteer, named Steve. To create a new user, click the Add button. Then enter Steve's login name and other information. Click the drop-down arrow in the Workgroup field to select the work group to which Steve will belong. Now you can select any extended rights you want him to have. Selecting Access to Administration would give Steve access to the Administration tab. Access to Reporting, selected by default, enables Steve to run and even create reports. Note that this extended right enables Steve to see any and all information contained in reports, regardless of whether his workgroup is entitled to see address information, gift information, and so on. The right to edit gifts after they've been posted would allow Steve to delete or edit gift information without leaving an audit trail. The right to adjust or write off pledges would allow him to alter pledge information. The right to access records without barcode, which is selected by default, means Steve can look up any constituent record at any time. You would clear this option if you wanted Steve to be able to look up constituent records only by scanning incoming donation forms or other materials with a printed barcode on them. By defining workgroups and users, you have complete control over what information people in your organization can view and edit. A final note about security. Try to resist the temptation to have more than one user using the same login for two reasons. First, it defeats an important security feature, being able to control, on an individual basis, the types of information a given user can access and change. Also, doing this will invalidate the audit information ResultsPlus maintains on behalf of your organization. For these reasons, Metafile strongly recommends one person, one user account. This completes the tutorial on securing your data.